4 days ago, Lorena Ochoa won in Mexico, and in doing so, she qualified for the Hall of Fame at the age of 26.
First on the tee from Mexico, the 2007 Rolex Player of the Year and winner of the 2007 Bear Trophy, Lorena Ochoa.
Now the #1 player in the world looks for 4 wins in a row, her 5th of the year here at the Ginn Open. She's already won 4 tournaments by a total of 34 shots in 2008. She's qualified for the LPGA Hall of Fame in less than 6 years. She's in the middle of one of the most dominant stretches in LPGA Tour history. This week she is in Florida at the Ginn Open, trying to notch career win number 22. She is Lorena Ochoa. The Golf Channel proudly presents the LPGA Tour. From the Ginn Reunion Resort in Reunion, Florida, it's the first round of the Ginn Open. Reunion, Florida is about a 30-minute drive south of downtown Orlando, just about 10 minutes from Disney World, for the 3rd playing of the Ginn Open, one of the richest, most prestigious tournaments on the LPGA schedule. A terrific field is on hand, battling it out for the $390,000 first place check. With Donnie Pepper alongside us, check out some highlights from earlier today in round 1. Annika Sorenstam had this for birdie at 11.
Missed a short birdie attempt at the 12th, but converts this one on what was the hardest hole on the golf course a year ago.
That got her to 2 under par. She had another birdie opportunity at 13.
Uphill putt, beautifully done.
That got her to 3 under, but she would bogey the 14th. And then moments ago, Natalie Gulbis getting her first round underway. This her first hole, the 10th, had this for birdie.
Hole cut in the back right today, putting into the green. Way to start.
So Natalie birdies her first hole. She is at 1 under par. As we check out the leaderboard, Allison Fouch, Vari Mackay tied for the lead at 4 under par. Big group at 3 under par, which includes big breaker Christy McPherson. Carin Koch doubled the 15th hole to fall out of the lead. She's now in that group at 3 under par, along with Michelle Redmond. There's Suzanne Pedersen at 3 under par. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Hammonds along with Donnie Pepper, and of course the big story of this LPGA season has been Lorena Ochoa. She's won 4 of her 5 starts so far this year. If she continues at this pace, it's going to be a record year.
Well, we were looking at all of the things she's done, and getting to the point where she's winning tournaments by double digits and doing so comfortably tells you that she is so incredibly in command of what she's doing, and it has been, what a season.
The ADT Championship, of course, wrapped up the 2007 season, and she began 2008 where she left off in 2007.
A little perspective, she has won 18 titles in the last 24 months.
This is a very big event and one of the richest, most prestigious, as I mentioned, on the LPGA schedule, and it's been one of the best since its inception back in '06.
Well, certainly the field is testament to that. 49 of the top 50 players on this year's money list are here, and it's a stretch of the golf season for the LPGA where they get some momentum. They've had their first major championship a couple of weeks ago, and now in a stretch of 11 events in a row, culminating at the LPGA Championship. So it's a really good time to do exactly what Lorena Ochoa is doing, and that's play great golf.
And you're going to be seeing an interesting layout. We're going to see 9 holes of the Arnold Palmer design course and 9 holes of the Tom Watson design course.
Yeah, very interesting layout, and I really like the finish. Starting at the 16th, a par 3 that can be stretched to over 200 yards. It's a very large putting surface, lots of undulations, and that is a character of what you will see this golf course put up all week long. The 17th is a par 5 that can be reached by the longest hitters. Big chances for swings and momentum. And the 18th was the second most difficult hole on the golf course last year. It demands a great drive and, again, a really big, flowing, undulating putting surface that you can see big swings on the leaderboard in.
The practice rounds this week have been plagued by high winds, but good scoring conditions today. As we look at the 18th, Allison Fouch finds herself tied for the lead and has this for birdie in the outright lead.
Just 6 birdies here so far today. Moving to the right.
She'll tap that in for her career best, a 68. Birdies at 7 and 9. Bogey at 10, birdies at 12, 15, and 17. Over at the 10th, Lorena Ochoa with her third of the par 5.
From halfway on this green, everything slopes away, picks up some pace. Putting back uphill to start the round with a birdie.
The 16th, Laura Davies, who was in contention to win here a year ago, but shot 79 on Sunday in those horrid conditions. That for birdie, and Laura back to even par.
Still just 2 points away from qualifying for the Hall of Fame.
Let's meet the other members of our broadcast team. Val Skinner and Beth Daniel will be patrolling the grounds on a beautiful day here in Central Florida. Allison Fouch in now at 4 under par. Vari Mackay with 1 hole left to play also at that number. Julie Yainster playing well. She's gotten it to 3 under par with 3 holes left to play in her first round. Coming off birdie at the 10th, her first hole of the day. Here's Natalie Gulbis at 11 with her second.
Par 4, a dogleg to the right today. The hole cut in the front right, really accessible spot.
That's been kind of her bugaboo all year long.
It's been very sketchy ball striking, and her sand play has been particularly weak.
Back to the 10th, Paula Creamer's third.
Should swing just a little bit from right to left with that ball above her feet. Exactly what happens. Bit of a home game for Paula. Lives up on the north side, kind of in your neighborhood, Brian.
Kinda.
Kinda.
There's Morgan Pressel ahead at the 15th.
Hasn't been a particularly great golf course for Morgan over the last couple of years. Missed the cut twice here.
Back to the 11th, Christina Kim.
Your Pro-Am partner yesterday.
Well, I tell you what, she is very, very good in that format. The amateurs love playing with Christina, and a nice shot there. Just so friendly and so accommodating. Back to the 10th, Paula Creamer. Val Skinner is following this group.
Well, and Brian, they're just gently trying to get a feel for what the day's going to be like. There's a little bit of wind here today, maybe enough to affect the shots out here by a club, maybe more at times. Paula going back across the green here, should fall a little to her right. She's sporting a little bit of that luck of the leprechaun today. Got a solid green outfit going.
We're Augusta Green a week late.
Yeah.
To the 15th, Annika Sorenstam for par.
Yes.
Good save there to keep from having back-to-back bogeys.
Yeah, especially with the difficult 16th coming up.
Back to 10 and Lorena.
Well, as you saw in the opening, pulled her drive left, pounded a 3-wood down. Just ran it through the green a smidge. Big break to the right here.
Terrific pace. Are you surprised? No.
It was a rather indifferent third shot into the 10th hole, but she rolls in the long one for birdie. And Lorena, just like that, under par at 1 under. Over to 11. Saw Natalie Gulbis miss the green with her second. This her third.
It's a pretty steep upslope there. Leaves herself the easier putt, though, than had she got that past the hole.
So the lead is in at 4 under par. Lorena Ochoa off to a good start. We'll be back with more first round action in a moment.
Boy, thriller. No.
At the 17th, Carin Koch with a long one for birdie.
Been a long slump for Carin Koch, but showed some signs coming out of it last week. Tied for 5th at Corona.
Rammed that one in to tie for the lead. She had the lead at 5 under par before the double at 15, but now birdie 17 to get back into a share. Lorena Ochoa coming off birdie at 10, now on the tee at 11.
Well, and really a risk-reward hole here. Brian doesn't need to go deep, but can. Tightens up with 2 bunkers on both sides of the fairway.
Always plays her best in an aggressive mindset, and that is certainly clear from the start here today.
Over to 16, Julie Inkster has this for birdie and a share of the lead.
A rather slow start for Julie. Didn't even go to start the season in Hawaii, and I think the rust has just been a little longer to come off than in past seasons.
Gives you an idea of the speed of the greens. Rolls that one well by. Over to 11. Here's Natalie Gulbis.
So our player third from the right greenside bunker.
Natalie stays 1 under. A moment ago, Christina Kim had this for birdie, playing alongside Natalie.
And the green's running in the neighborhood of 11, 11 and a half, and drying out significantly with the lack of humidity and pretty decent breeze at times today.
Paula Creamer now on the tee at the 11th.
That bunker I mentioned down the left plays at 231, so she should be safe with that.
Julie Inkster for par at 16. So Julie stays at 3 under, 1 shot back.
Not a huge fan of Bermuda greens. You'll see her shake her head a lot throughout the week.
Well, let's take a look at the golf course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Chris Chambrot is the superintendent. The greens are in transition, aren't they?
They're very much in transition. April in this part of the world is when the Tiff Eagle, the Bermuda, starts to come back to life again after being quiet, dormant all winter, and you'll see some different colorations. The lighter color is that Bermuda. They roll beautifully, but they just don't look particularly wonderful at this time of the year.
Course playing just over 6,500 yards to a par 72, and again, it's a composite course, partly Arnold Palmer's design, part Tom Watson design. 2 of the 3 courses here at the Ginn Reunion Resort. Jack Nicklaus also has a course. 65, the course record.
A lot of similar elements, though, even though it's a composite course. Speed so much a part of putting these greens well.
Christina Kim for her par at the 11th. Ouch. A lot of undulations in these greens.
There are, and you are rewarded, though, if you are in the proper portion of these greens. You're going to have a lot of birdie putts that are makeable.
Annika Sorenstam on the tee now at the 16th. Annika had it to 3 under par after the birdie at 13, but bogey 14. Good par save at 15.
And a good start to her season with 5 top 10s coming in here, including a win. Went from 4th in the world rankings at the beginning of the season to 2nd now. Somehow that all gets kind of dulled when you look at the way Lorena Ochoa has played.
It could have been a lot better season for Annika to this point had it not been for that one player. Now she knows what everybody else felt like a few years ago.
That's exactly right. 2001, 2002, when she was so dominant.
There's Morgan Pressel on the tee at the 16th.
This hole playing 184 yards today. Wind in the player's face coming out of the right just slightly. The wind seems to be shifting just enough to confuse them. This flag is blowing from straight in Morgan's face to right at her. Currently it's blowing more right to left. So it's a decision of clubs. And since I've been with this group, I've seen a lot of indecision out here because of the wind swirling around a little bit.
Beth, compared to what it's been the last couple of days, this is just a slight breeze.
That's true. Sometimes, though, Brian, when it's blowing hard, it doesn't make as much of a difference. Well, she switched, I think, to less club here because she's feeling like it's more right to left.
One place you don't want to miss it, though, Beth, is short right.
No, short right is tough, and
Sit. Right. Sit. Right. Sit.
Pretty good steep slope back there. That's a really solid shot.
Natalie Gulbis on the tee at the 12th.
135 yards today with a backstop just beyond. Certainly no reason not to be aggressive.
Thanks.
So Natalie will have a chance to get to 2 under par. She can roll that in as we go back to 16.
Well, we'll see if Annika benefited from watching Morgan's ball go past the hole here. She really has hit the ball very, very well today. Nice solid round of golf for her so far. Well, she's telling that to sit too, a little left of the hole. But Dottie, as you say, that's where you want to miss it, is left. Definitely do not want to miss it right on this hole.
Yeah, the green's steep enough on the left-hand side that a lot of those shots will funnel back toward the center regardless. No need to be short-sighted.
Over to 11. Lorena Ochoa. Sky Caddy says she hit her drive 247 yards, leaving her 103 left.
And that was just 94 carry to the front. Little feathered wedge, threw it up in the air. Had a right-hand blinker on a smidge, huh, Brian?
Now she'll just roll it in from there. Head to the finishing hole, the 18th, and Becky Morgan.
One of the straightest drivers on tour. At the center of the hole.
Pretty straight putter as well.
Absolutely. This hole not playing as difficult as we'd cracked it up to be at this point.
Certainly not playing as difficult as it did a year ago on Sunday in that gale. Michelle Redmond finishing up her round at the 9th, the par 5. Michelle bogeyed the 8th to fall out of a share of the lead. She's now at 3 under.
Starting to show some signs of playing some better golf. Got herself in contention at the event in Phoenix.
Oh boy.
Came up and out of it, got the early peak, and what she saw wasn't so great.
Moment to go at the 11th, Paula Creamer.
Oh, fly. Oh.
Good judge of the distance there. Beyond it, it really falls away quickly.
Okay, the 18th, Carin Koch with her 2nd from the bunker.
This bunker to get into it just about 235 yards off the tee. Extremely well done.
Back to 11 and Lorena.
Just bumping it through the fringe here again. She did it nicely on the last hole, canned it for birdie. Just a little bit under red. 11th hardest hole on this golf course all of last year in competition here.
Ahead to 16 and Annika.
Surveying this lengthy birdie putt, realistically not a birdie putt, but you never know. Should move from her left to right, and going back into the grain, Dottie, so it's not nearly as fast.
Yeah, back into the grain, and I believe back into the wind as well.
That's correct. So she ought to be able to, in spite of this green being pretty quick, she ought to be able to hit this pretty firmly.
Just a year ago is when she withdrew from this event with that severe neck and upper back injury.
She serves as the unofficial host this week. Her academy is based here at the Ginn Reunion Resort. Something she's put a lot of effort into getting started. Over at the 12th, Natalie Gulbis for birdie.
Good start, yeah. 2 under after 3. 3 putts in total.
She birdies 10 and 12. Over to 11.
They'll sneak just to the right.
She rode the school bus off Lorena's putt, Dottie.
So Paul into 1 under. 4 under continues to lead here in round 1 of the Ginn Open. We'll be back with more coverage in a moment.
Is this chick? She has some attitude, doesn't she? I'm getting nasty to these girls.
Last week we met the 12 contestants of the Big Break Ka'anapali. This week you don't want to miss the Big Break Ka'anapali, Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern. Back at the 12th, here's Lorena Ochoa.
Brian looking at it, just really needs to fly this ball about 123 yards. It's 135 to the hole. But everything feeds towards this front right hole location. Makes the shot quite simple.
Come on, get loose. Come on.
That done nicely with a little 9-iron.
We saw Carin Koch's second shot out of the bunker at the 18th. This for birdie and sole possession of the lead. And she got it. So back-to-back birdies to finish her round, and Carin Koch is the new leader at 5 under par. Moment ago at 16, Annika Sorenstam for par. So Annika stays at 2 under. And now live up on the tee, Suzanne Pettersson.
she talked so much about the importance of being ready to play at this time of the season. Felt like the early events were a lead up to the craft, and now right in the bulk of the season that means so much to her and where she played so well last year.
Just crawls onto the front of the green. Take a look at the Rolex Golf rankings. Suzann Pettersen in the 3rd spot. She was number 2 when the season began, but then Annika's win in Hawaii vaulted her past Suzann into 2nd place.
9 of the top 10 in these rankings here this week. Ji Shin there at number 7, the only one who is not.
Terrific field here at the Ginn Open. Moment ago at the 12th. Here's Paula Creamer.
Got it right at it.
Under the hole, well done. Living with that tag now with the maybe the best player out here to not have won a major.
Well, she has 3 more chances this year to take care of that title. We'll be back with more in a moment. You can be a part of the Golf Channel Amateur Tour presented by Sky Caddy and experience the thrill of competition on some of the best courses in your area. All you have to do is log on to thegolfchannel.com and join today. Moment ago at the 12th, Lorena Ochoa for birdie.
Ticklish little break to the left, needs to keep it high enough.
A little higher, a little more pace, either one would have worked.
A little grainy, these greens, I think, even though they're very quick. Stamping at 11.
Anneke Sorenstam now on the tee at 17, the par 5.
That's a good find. Let's see if it gets the...
It heads pretty quickly downhill at 260 yards, and you'll get a big bonus kick. Didn't quite get that.
Up at the green, Julie Inkster with her third.
Yeah.
Great. A little confusion about who's next to play. Ji Young Lee and Louise Freeberg also in this grouping. Louise, of course, a winner a couple of weeks ago in Mexico City.
While we wait, let's go to 13, Christina Kim.
Go. Go. Go.
It does. We're going to go with the 12, Paula Creamer for birdie to get to 2 under.
Straight back up the hill, just needs to be firm and trust it.
She didn't either. So a par for Paula. She stays 1 under.
Had some putter issues this year early in the season. Found her old one to be bent. Now has switched putters completely.
The 18th, Christy Kerr is at 2 under par. This her second.
As we saw earlier, the holder of the course record here, and got herself in contention a couple of weeks ago at the Kraft Nabisco for that major championship shot. 80 in the last round.
Little indecision.
Well, as Beth talked about earlier, the wind kind of comes and goes, but certainly less than the players had in practice rounds. In fact, the practice tee on Tuesday afternoon, it was basically a ghost town. It was blowing so hard, players said it wasn't even worth coming out to hit balls.
Feel like chipping something there? You want to hit it on it?
The rough here really not that much of a factor this week. Feet above the ball. This is going to try to bleed to the right. The ideal shot here, though, would be shaped the other way.
Just on the front of the green, so we'll have a long look at birdie at the 18th. Look at that birdie.
That's no bird.
Here's Lorena Ochoa.
Well, and Brian, there's a hidden landing area here on 13. Played most difficult hole all through the 2007 Ginn, so fairly accurate to assume that that could happen again.
Yeah, a little bit more room to the left than you would think standing on the tee box.
Just really can't see your landing area, and if you yank it at all left, you're absolutely, well, you're in penalty land. We'll put it that way.
Back to 17. Julie Inkster now ready with her third.
Going the low route, trying to skip it up the hill. Grabbed a little bit into the grain, but leaves herself an uphill putt.
To 13. Here's Natalie Gulbis for birdie.
Just barely kept it on the appropriate level.
Right now.
3.5 feet remaining for par.
A moment ago, on the tee at 13, Paula Creamer.
That famous snap load on the downswing. I think it got her that time. Just held on to it too long, drove that handle upward.
A few live oaks down the right-hand side here creep in quickly.
And she found them.
To 16, Suzanne Petterson.
changes going on for Suzann Pettersson this year. All new clubs that we spoke about when we saw the girls in Phoenix, and also a new caddy change. Now working with Greg Johnston, who used to caddy for Brittany Lincecum, who is ironically in this pairing.
So after back-to-back birdies, she's going to give at least one back. She can roll that in.
Among the changes, that's another new putter.
Back to 13. Here's Natalie Gulbis. She's in with par to remain 1 under. Back to 16. Pettersson now for bogey.
Left, center, and firm ought to do it from here.
So Suzann will drop a shot to 3 under. 17, Julie Inkster for birdie.
And a putt that must be struck firmly. Interesting to look at Julie's career record. Only 1 win in the state of Florida, just like Tom Watson.
So missed opportunity there at the par 5. Julie remains 3 under. Annika waiting at the 17th to play her second into the par 5. It's time now for our Lexus Pursuit of Perfection with Annika Sorenstam. She gives us a few helpful tips.
Not every drive will give you a flat shot for your second shot. Here I'm placed with a shot where the ball is above my feet. 2 tips to help you get out of this lie is to grip down on the club because the ball is above you. So if you were gripping normally, you will hit in the ground too soon. So you grip down a little bit on the club to get closer there. And then also, you want to aim to the right of the flag because when the ball is above you, it has a tendency to start right and come back left. So 2 adjustments to help you when the ball is above your feet. Here, we have the opposite. The ball is below my feet. Now, I need to get down a little bit. I need to lower the center of gravity, and I want to grip as high as I can. And here, the ball will go left to right. So, to make up for that, you will aim to the left. So please, don't let awkward lies intimidate you.
As a look at Annika's career and the wins by year, winless a year ago, already has 1 win this year in 2008.
For a grand total of 70.
Now her second.
214.38 downwind. She should easily be able to carry the front. And that's a little to the right, and Dottie, that's exactly where you want to put the ball. You do not want to mess with the left side here.
Bit of experience there.
Annika on the par 5 17th in 2. We'll come back and see if she can roll in the long one for eagle. Stay with us. Carin Koch leads by 1.
Yeah, I'm here. Not good. You can give me a bum mic too. That's the trick. Send her out there, give her a mic that doesn't work. Yeah. I'm a mic.
What promo? Moment ago at the 18th, Christy Kerr with a long look at birdie.
Some movement left to start and then could quite likely turn back a little to the right at the very, very end.
But not that much.
Not that much.
Christy would make her par to finish 2 under. The 13th, Lorena Ochoa.
Well, and Sky Caddy tells us she drove at 283 to have only 111 to the pin, 103 to the front of the green.
Says she's picked up 7 or 8 yards this year, and it's making these short irons more and more frequent in her hands.
Back to the 18th, and Brittany Lang for birdie.
Player with such enormous talent, and just kind of waiting for her to have some breakout week, breakout year.
Maybe this will be the week. Brittany gets to 3 under par, round of 69 with a birdie at the 18th.
Co-runner-up with Morgan Pressel at the 05 Women's Open.
Back to 13, and Lorena.
Well, just taking a quick look from both sides here, most of these greens have a fair amount of undulation, so it will pay off to look at both sides of the break. Should go just a little to her left.
And that's going to go a few feet by.
Well, you know, tell you, Brian, she's a player. You know, everybody talks about how hot she is. She's won 14 tournaments in the last 2 years. In 06 and 07, not counting what she's done this year.
Well, what she's done this year has been phenomenal. She's won 4 times in 5 starts. Her average margin of victory is 8.5 strokes. And Dottie, let me start with you. Is she more dominant now than Annika Sorenstam was at the height of her game?
In terms of pure winning numbers, I would say they are very much the same. You look at a season like 2002 where Annika had 11 wins. You could possibly have that with her, but it's the way she's winning right now. Winning, like you said, by an average of 8.5 shots that really grabs you. And you look at the speed of which she has accumulated all of these points, getting into the Hall of Fame or qualifying for it by points, winning the last 2 major championships at the top of that list consecutively. The one thing I don't see right now is somebody pushing Lorena. Annika had Kari Webb and had a number of players pushing her to play better and pushing herself from inside as well. I don't see that right now with Lorena. There's a possibility of somebody like a Paula Creamer, but it's just not happening right now. She's doing all this on her own.
Val, what are your thoughts? Lorena more dominant than Annika?
Well, I mean, Brian, from 2000 to 2005, Annika won 48 times. So, as well, Lorena currently, yes, by far, is dominating the LPGA. She still has a long way to go to match a record like Annika. But I think the thing that's interesting about her, Brian, is that she really wants to focus on being the best and continuing to be the best. I mean, it'd be easy for a player to lose some motivation after an induction into the Hall of Fame, much like Kari Webb may have done.
Speaking of Annika, she has an eagle opportunity at the 17th, and it's a good chance for us to get the thoughts of a Hall of Fame member, Beth Daniel, on the dominance of Lorena Ochoa.
Well, I think the dominance that you're seeing right now with Lorena is pretty fantastic. I agree with Dottie. I don't really see anyone pushing her like Annika was pushed. They're also two completely different players. I mean, Lorena is a very feel-oriented, emotional player. Annika is almost robot-like. And when you watch Annika play her best golf, it's much like what we're seeing today. She plays with strategy. She places the ball at a certain point in the fairway and places it in a certain position on the green. And she's always played that way, and I think that's why she's been so dominant.
Let's take a look at what these two players have done.
Well, coming up on basically the anniversary of Annika no longer being the #1 player in the world, and Lorena rising to the top, rose to the top without winning a major championship, but has gotten two since.
And that was always the knock against Lorena. She, as the #1 player in the world, she didn't have a major championship to her credit, but then last year she wins the Women's British. A couple of weeks ago she wins the Kraft Nabisco, so that's no longer an issue.
Annika, of course, with 10 majors.
Over to the 18th, Laura Davies for birdie. Laura would love to have this hole back from a year ago. On Sunday, she made triple bogey, fall out of contention. Birdie there in a round of 70. There's Christina Kim with her second to 14.
She is so motivated by the opportunity to make Beth Daniel's Solheim Cup team next year.
Well, she's off to a good start with several top 10s already in 2008. Carin Koch continues to lead here at the Ginn Open.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. If you've ever thought about playing on tour, here's your chance. The Golf Channel Amateur Tour, presented by Sky Caddy, is now playing in over 70 cities across the country. Log on to the all-new golfchannel.com and start playing your way to the national finals. Morg-Koch shoots 67. She leads by 1. It's the first time she's led after any round since the first round of the 05 Evian Masters. Brittany Lang in that group of 3 under par. Suzanne Petterson in there after that bogey at 16. There's Annika in the group at 2 under par. Laura Davies finishes with that birdie to finish 2 under. Now to the 17th. Suzanne Petterson.
Her huge drive, left just with an iron for her second, reached all the way to the bottom of the hill. Ideally this ball would move a little bit from right to left. Just a yard or two from being absolutely perfect.
She may not like that one too much. Moment ago on the 14th tee, Lorena Ochoa.
Just want to drive this down the right-hand side. The fairway will funnel the ball back into the center.
No need for driver there, and she did not.
Just going to play it safe. 387-yard par 4.
Run it out.
Golf course playing so firm and fast.
Only 40% of their water allotment they're using here this year.
Up on the green, Christina Kim for birdie.
Good stroke with just a little bit more, little less speed. Such a good job of keeping that putter low on the way back and also through impact. Not surprising that Christina Kim would find putting enormously boring. Not her favorite part to practice.
We've heard that from a lot of players, but of course it's something they have to practice. Two bogeys, 1 birdie for Christina to this point. Annika Sorenstam for birdie at 17. Boy, another missed opportunity for Annika.
Just a touch of deceleration in that stroke. Not aggressive.
So Annika remains at 2 under.
Round she could have easily been 5 under or so.
Log on to thegolfchannel.com for exclusive access to the largest online library of golf video, including the latest video news and interviews from all the tours in action this week. Last year's champion Brittany Lincecum with her 3rd to the 17th.
She needs to take advantage of with her length. 2 over.
You're fine. What you gotta do? I just
Now on the 18th tee, here's Annika.
Start the ball down the right-hand side. 244 covers the first set of bunkers, and 270 into that bunker you see coming up into the shot right now. That was large.
Over to 14, Paula Creamer.
Well, Brian, she's drawing a bad lie ball, setting down in the part of the rough that's filled in now. 163 to the hole location. Sky Caddy gives us a 143 front yardage.
Did a good job chasing through it, staying down with the shot.
She really did hang with that and hit a beautiful shot from there. That lie was worse than it looked.
And that ball is getting better by the second.
She's going to have a good birdie opportunity here at 14 when all is said and done. Angela Stanford looking for her 3rd birdie in a row. This at the 15th.
actually Yanni Seng, who is in the second position in the Rolex Rookie of the Year award runnings right now. Terrific golf swing, a lot of speed, a lot of length. I think still best known though for denying Michelle Wie a repeat at the Women's Amateur Public Links 4 years ago. Puck moves right at the very end. Green grabs it.
It'll be a par for Yanni Singh. A lot of players have been real impressed with this youngster's game.
As I mentioned, plenty of length and a work ethic that is incredible.
Back to 14 now, Lorena Ochoa.
Well, Dottie, you talk about plenty of length. A little bit downwind here, but off the tee, 283 with the 3 medal. Sky Caddy gives us the number to the front here at 80. A little bit of green to work with.
Extra 13 cover to the portion of the green where the hole is cut. And that should slip down to the left from there.
Looked
well
like
done.
A great bounce. Not a good shot with the wedge.
Ahead at the 18th. Here's Annika's second.
From 130 yards, it's probably just a little 9-iron off the upslope, looking to fly it down in that flat and stop it. That's a good shot.
You know, Beth, there's always conversation about the LPGA Hall of Fame, and often it's, you know, it's the most difficult Hall of Fame to attain membership in across the world of sports. You're there, and you were part to what the changes were made. Tell everybody a little bit about what the philosophy is and how those changes have come about.
Well, I think the philosophy behind our fame is that you want to pick the best players that stand out from each generation. And I think our Hall of Fame does a great job of doing that. The way it was set in the early days, Dottie, is that if you had no majors, you had to win 40 times. If you had one major, you had to win 35 times. And if you had 2 majors, you only had to win 30 times. So it was getting to the point where the tour was feeling that it might be unattainable, or it might not pick out those players from the generation that truly were the best.
Well, I think Patty Sheehan said it so well. She said, you know, it's just going to be a bunch of little old ladies. And there would not be players of the current generation. That 27 points that you saw on that graphic, the key element, and so many things that are given value are now actually valued in getting into the Hall of Fame, like major championships, like an all-year award, like being Player of the Year or the Vare Trophy. And I think that was so important.
Back to 17, Suzanne Pedersen with her third out of the bunker.
Yeah, green going away from her. Oh, very, very well done.
That was a moment ago. Now Brittany Lincecum for birdie.
Does take advantage of her length. Going through some swing changes. She's not real set on yet.
The defending champion now at 1 over par. 6 shots behind our leader, Carin Koch. If we get a chance, I might
How are
follow.
you? I'm fine.
I might follow up if we get a chance. You know, since those changes were made, we've had several players qualify at very young ages. Now,
Bring Beth in, because she was talking about that.
because you know, now are they not taking nothing away from what they accomplished, but is it too easy?
Not much. We're having audio issues, and
Okay, yeah, I can hear it
we get Beth
clicking
sometimes.
in
We
and
get Val
out. It's doing it
sometimes.
right now.
Nice earrings, Chico. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Hey,
and he's right behind
Jim,
the green.
can I follow up on the...
When did you get it? When did you get it? When you were home. It's
Okay.
nice and flat, so it doesn't hang snag.
Jim, we get a chance, can I follow up on the Hall of Fame conversation with just get another thought from Beth?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can sit right in here. Oh, no, he better come in. All right. Yeah. Okay. See ya. Hey, did they win last night? Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
I'm left front of 18, up on the hill. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was one of those words we learned a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Hey, Jim. Jim, if we get a chance, can I follow up on one other question to Beth about the Hall of Fame? Okay. Thank you. Back out to the 14th. Lorena Ochoa for birdie to get to 2 under. Her second birdie to go along with the birdie at 10 to open her round. Ahead of the 18th. Annika for birdie.
We'll have some pace down green. Finishes moving a little left.
So Annika will tap that in for a round of 70. Out to the 15th and Christina Kim.
Today cut in the back left. Oh, terrific shot. Green works all right to left in that corner, and there is big trouble left. Aggressive shot paid off.
Well, if you missed any of today's action from the Verizon Heritage, you'll have another chance to catch that and more tonight as we break down the day's play and show you special features that you'll see only on PGA Tour Prime Time tonight at 8:30 Eastern on the Golf Channel. There's Annika Sorenstam heading to the scoring tent to put the finishing touches on her round of 2 under 70. Beth Daniel was talking about the Hall of Fame and what they're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
Beth, if I may ask you a question, since they've made those changes to the Hall of Fame, the criteria in which to enter, we've had Carin Webb get in at the age of 25, now Lorena Ochoa at the age of 26, Sayri Pot gets in at a very early age. Is there any thought now that maybe it's too easy, taking nothing away from what those players have accomplished, but is it now maybe too easy to get into the Hall of Fame?
That you mentioned are 3 of the best players of all time that have ever played the LPGA Tour. So no, I don't think it's too easy. You know, I think there's a fine line between too difficult and too easy, and I don't think it's too easy. I mean, I think that things like Player of the Year, Bear Trophy that you work for all year, those things should count. And you know, that's what's kind of vaulting them in at a quicker pace.
Well, I think, too, that this is just a very special time on the LPGA Tour to be around at the time where you've had these dominant players really within this 10-year span, and to be able to be involved in just how much the play has improved out here.
I think just the thing that makes it strange compared to other sports, and you can't compare golf to other sports, but you've got a player like Lorena Ochoa who's only been on tour for what, 6 years?
Correct.
And she's already qualified for the Hall of Fame. Now that would never happen in another sport, but you can see it here in golf when you've been as successful as Lorena has been. After the 15th, and Natalie Gulbis for birdie.
She will putt up over a pretty large ridge. Early break now going back to the left.
Very nice, Matt.
Great speed there. Low stress par.
Yep.
So Natalie Gulbis remains 1 under par. She trails our leader by 5, Carin Koch, in with that 67.
Yeah, I had to come back to this mic. I mean, she's way over in a condo signing her card, and this line will only go to the back of 18. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do sign their cards way past the 18th.
Oh, is that right? They're
condo.
in a new condo?
They did that last year, too. No, that was fine. I think we raised the point. I mean, that was just a... It's just strange. I mean, you can't avoid it. I think it's pretty cool, but in no other sport do you have active athletes in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Is the Champions Tour event that you're doing, is it still that Pro-Am?
Mm-hmm.
Where they got a lot of baseball players and stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wish we did that one.
My only goal is to do a walk and talk and not fall over.
Okay. I don't really have a lead in. Yeah.
What is she?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
What is she? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No, well, I mean, it's
What's her
scoring. Uh-oh.
Did she start on 10?
She's 3 over after 4.
Made a birdie. Back with Lorena Ochoa.
Brian, just looking to, talking to her caddy there, Dave Brooker, discussing at 137 to this whole location. Sky Caddy has her 112 to the front of the green, but a big angle to the back left. Pin has to carry the ball a long ways back there, wants to play it out right of the hole. Has an 8-iron. Boy, and again, these greens they're very firm, and she hit that ball solidly with plenty of spin, but there's quite a bit of release.
She's already rolled in a couple of long putts today, and she'll have a chance to do it again. Head to the 18th, Brittany Lincecum.
18th hole was so pivotal in this championship being decided last year. Brittany actually won with a bogey here. Lorena made double. Laura Davies made triple. And you mentioned the conditions were just brutal.
I find it interesting, and you see this with a lot of players. You say she's going through a lot of swing changes right now, but here's a player coming off her best year. She's won each of the last 2 seasons, won here at a very good golf course, very difficult conditions, played on the Solheim Cup team, and then decides to make wholesale swing changes.
Well, I think part of her decision was because she really was a pretty one-dimensional player with a hard right-to-left shot. If she's going to improve long-term, she's going to need to be able to move the ball a little bit in the other direction. Even if it's not your favorite shot, you got to have it somewhere and eliminate one part of the golf course at one time. I think she was wise to make some of them, but I don't think she needs to ditch everything that's gotten her to this point. You look at a player like Lorena Ochoa, who has been resistant to making big changes, trying to mold what she has and go with what she was given as her tools, and I think that's such a strong way to play. But if there are deficiencies, I think you're selling yourself short not to look at some of them.
Raise an interesting point, because there are some teachers that would look at Lorena's swing and try to change everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Back to the 15th.
That from 116. Just might have moved a smidge in front of it, slid it off to the right more than she wanted.
It's the second of Paula Creamer. And back to the 18th. Suzanne Pettersson will have a lengthy birdie opportunity.
Did get the dropped shot back at the 16th with that up and down from the left bunker at 17. And this is the first I've seen her with this new putter. She had borrowed a putter last year at the LPGA Championship from a fellow that she played in the Pro-Am with. Had such terrific success with it.
Must have run out of magic.
She had some kind of magic, I will say, the last 2 days at the Kraft Nabisco, though, after making the cut on the number. Got the good side of the weather on Saturday and shot 65 and closed with 68 for tie for second, right where she finished last year when she really squandered the lead to finish tied for second. So in some ways, you take a lot more momentum out of this year's event.
And we talked earlier this year about how she traditionally gets off to somewhat of a slow start. And then as the weather warms up, so does she.
Yeah, she made mention in her press conference this week that she really didn't even play any decent junior golf until June or July, I think, when things started to thaw out.
This for birdie and a share of the lead.
Got some movement right to left. See her pointing, her aimed way out high. A little valley in this area right here will straighten the ball out. Great speed. Another player with local ties, member at Bay Hill, where she was actually out during that event watching Tiger.
Out to the 16th. Here's Christina Kim. Hit it tied at 15 and made birdie. And hits it tied at 16.
You mentioned that she had hit the ball really solidly yesterday in the Pro-Am. You can't be surprised at this.
No, she played very well. This is Stephanie Sparks from the Golf Channel here at 14. Stephanie played on the LPGA Tour in 2000, but had a lot of back trouble. Had to pretty much give up the game.
Yeah, in fact, 2 surgeries, I believe. Had a really, really good amateur career.
But now, thanks to the folks here at the Ginn Open, Stephanie getting a second chance at the game that she loves this week.
A couple weeks ago, I got a phone call from the tournament director of the Ginn Open asking if I would like to have a sponsor's exemption to the tournament. My answer to that is there a question mark at the end of that? So of course I would. But having not competed for 8 years and probably averaged about 35 rounds in those 8 years, I needed some help, a lot of help. So this is where we're at. We're here at the Annika Academy, and I figured why not go to some of the best. 5 weeks, Henry. Is there hope?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I hope that Stephanie could practice enough because her back hurting her so much. So that could be a problem for her. And that's why I tried to find a swing she could easily make without hurting her back.
A lot of cobwebs I had to clear off my clubs. Still picking them from my face. This could be a scary experience. I'm at this point wondering what in the heck did I get myself into?
Well, the main thing right now is for her to learn how to really use the core and also get the core stronger. Of course, that will protect her back. We know she has some back issues, and we need to be aware of that and build everything around that a little bit. So very important for her to get stronger in the core, but also learn how to use the core while she's moving. And we'll do a lot of that with all the exercises here.
I never thought I'd have this, opportunity to get back inside the ropes and live the dream one more time. So I'm psyched.
Well, Stephanie currently at 3 over par, but she's enjoying every second that she's out there, knowing that she's got another chance. Lorena Ochoa for birdie at 15.
Well, a long birdie attempt at that. It should fall slightly to Lorena's right.
Stress-free par for Lorena.
I have to admire her for being able to keep her emotions in check last week after getting into the Hall of Fame in her home country, and then being able to put the pieces of the puzzle back together again to get ready to play this week.
Let's get you down to Beth Daniel.
Thanks, Brian. I have Annika here, fresh off a 2 under par today. You had the stomach flu at Kraft Nabisco. Are you feeling better after that?
Oh, I do. I feel great now. It's been almost 2 weeks. It took a few days to get over, but I feel great now.
Okay, and you have your Annika Academy is out here, so you must spend a good bit of time out here. How does it feel to play a tournament where the Academy is?
Well, it's kind of like home, I would say. I spend a lot of time here, obviously on the other side of the range and not as much on the golf course, but I know this place very, very well, and it's fun to come here and play in front of friends and family and stay at home as well. It makes it really for a great week.
Oh, that's great. Last year here you had the neck and back problems. Obviously you feel a lot better from that now too.
I do. It's, the last 12 months has been different for me. It took a few months to get over the injury, and then I'm fighting back, and I feel good now. I have no pain. I have no restrictions. I can work out. I can practice, so really no excuses anymore.
Okay, well, the game looks pretty solid. Keep it up this weekend, and thanks for talking to us. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Beth, at 15, Paula Creamer.
Well, a slick little putt coming across the green.
Oh, and it does fall. It looked for a second like it was just going to hang on the lip.
Is there a commercial in her future?
I think they've already made them.
So Paula to 1 under. Just a gorgeous day here in Central Florida. Carin Koch shoots 67. She continues to lead by 1 here in round 1 of the Ginn Open.
Okay, so so you don't want me to go back out or anything like that? I mean, I can do it. I can go back out if you want me to. Okay, Natalie, all right. Should I go in and try and get another mic and everything? Okay, okay, I'll do that.
Do I have that one? I don't have a Father's Day promo.
What row?
I can do that. I can do that. Okay.
Father's Day is coming to the Golf Channel, and you... Father's Day is coming to the Golf Channel, and you could win a dream trip to St. Andrews with a story about your dad.
My dad's great. He's the one that started me when I was 9 years old when we started playing. I have two older brothers, so we would all go out and kind of mess around. He was actually my caddy my rookie year, so it was fantastic to have him with me. You know, it was kind of a tough time. I was really nervous, and he just kind of, talked me through it, and we had a great time together. My first win on tour, that was pretty special to have him on the bag with me, and to have family with me there. He's very straightforward. He doesn't talk very much. He's quite shy. He's very opposite than my mom, so it's interesting when you bring boyfriends home and they introduce themselves to my father. He's very intimidating and doesn't say too much, so they're kind of freaked out a little bit, so it's kind of funny, I think, when they come to meet him.
Tell us your story, and you could win a dream trip to St. Andrews, Scotland with Dad. Log on to golfchannel.com/Father's Day for your chance to win.
Back at the 16th.
Only 184 to this hole location, but the wind is crossing from right to left, and the hole location is on the right side of the screen. So the ideal shot would be to hit a little bit of a cut in here and hold it against the wind.
The fourth toughest hole on the golf course today, with only 6 birdies made here all day so far.
I can believe that, Donnie. It's just not that accessible to this hole location. Lorena gonna try to saw off a little 4-iron here. She has hit a little bit of a cut, but maybe overcut it. Actually blocked it.
Oh, she's now going to be chipping downwind, uphill, down grain.
That sounds easy.
Maybe for you.
Earlier at the 16th, the group ahead, Christina Kim for back-to-back birdies.
Stay up.
Stay up, get up.
Missed opportunity there for Christina, who remains at even par. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys for Christina. She remains 5 behind our leader, Carin Koch.
Yeah, I'm not with my group yet.
At the 16th, Paula Creamer.
Well, it's drawn a pretty good lie. Really doesn't have too many canyons or crevices to work through. Just a little bit from her right to left.
Well, Val, was this a miss hit or a miss club?
Well, you know, it looked to me, Dottie, like her foot slipped. You know, she posts her leg and straightens so quickly, and sometimes it looks like she loses her footing, and that's exactly what happened. Well, I just put way too much check on it, obviously, and unacceptable unforced error there, I'm sure, in her mind.
The 17th, Kari Webb second. We're talking about Lorena getting into the Hall of Fame at 26. Kari was the quickest player to get in.
Quickest and youngest. Bunker shots like that, though, will make you old.
Back to 16, Nicole Castrale, also short of the green.
Yeah, just cruising along here. Just not an easy green to hit today. Tough in placement.
Yeah, tough combination with that wind blowing out of the short side right. Pretty well done, but 4.5 feet or so left.
Yeah, she'll have a little bit of work to do, enough to keep your attention.
Coming up on her title defense at the Ginn event in Charleston in a month.
Yeah, she has good memories when it comes to the word Ginn.
I played well here last year.
And now Lorena.
Oh, big. Took that back with a lot of cup in the left hand, tried to dump it on the ball. Really is an excellent shot from where she was. That was straight downhill. It looked like she was at Disneyland.
Well, if she left that short, it could have come right back to her feet.
We're in Orlando, Val. That'd be Disney World.
Well, it was Disneyland because she was on land.
Oh, okay. Paula Creamer now for her par.
Well, it's still off to a pretty solid start this year, and the 4th ranked player in the world. Can't say that's all bad. We were talking earlier about whether or not Paula was a realistic challenger for Lorena. I think, Dottie, that she has a bright future. I don't know. And if she's somebody that's going to win 6 or 8 times a year, it'd be fun. It'll be fun finding out.
She's probably come along at a bad time. She's got to play in the Lorena Ochoa era.
You know what? Her timing is a lot better than that nail color is. That is bad. That is really bad. She will think that's a pretty bad bogey. Well, you know, get back to the conversation. It's a lot like a lot of the players on the PGA Tour must feel at times. I've come up in the Tiger era. And you think that sometimes you have to play perfect golf. Hey, you know, Lorena's not going to play every week. Tiger certainly doesn't play every week. You just have to be ready to play, and they can be beaten. I believe that has to be your mindset.
Well, but there are mental gymnastics around it. I mean, like you're saying about Tiger, I mean, for that period of time, Annika was playing well. A number of players thought they were playing for second every week, and it's that rare breed that can step up against it. We'll see who it is. And Nicole got a little bit of a read with Paula's line being almost directly on her line. Should fall slightly left, as you can see the big mound to the right.
Right edge should do it if it's hit solidly. Comes up a little short.
I like this player's talent, though, Dottie. Very strong, strikes the ball, compresses the ball. Just a really good, solid ball striker.
Yeah, she's got a good launch. It starts out low, rises, and really fights in the wind well.
Natalie Gulbis on the 17th tee.
Good ball.
Beth Daniel is caught up with this group.
Not quite long enough to get to the downhill slope, but certainly in a good spot.
Ahead at the 17th, Kari Webb with her third.
Would expect that ball to chase after hearing contact before the ball. Difficult from a downhill lie to a downhill green. Seems the week that Kari putts well, she plays well. Always a good ball striker.
Back to 16, Lorena for par.
Well, and it'll be a good one. It'll be a world-class par.
Talked about how much time she spent on just her short game in the off-season, and my goodness, has it paid off so far this year.
I think it was 3 hours, you said, that she worked on putting and chipping and everything else, because she believes in staying healthy and staying fit, too, so she has a pretty strong workout routine as well.
Any questions?
It's going to be the par of the day.
So Lorena remains bogey free. We'll be back with more from the Ginn Open after this. Stay with us.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How about that? Oh, the end of the day, 4 or 5. Yep.
Don't forget, join us later tonight for Golf Central as we bring you all the action from the Verizon Heritage. We'll take you inside the ropes for scores, highlights, and player reaction. Golf Central's breaking down all the action tonight at midnight Eastern. Out to the 17th, Kari Webb for birdie.
Second easiest hole on the golf course right now. Straight uphill. Just carried a smidge too much speed. Now she'll have a ticklish little 3-footer left.
And a moment ago, same group. Angela Stanford with a long putt.
Gotten off to a nice start to the 2008 season. Including that course record 62 that we saw in Phoenix.
So Angela to 2 under. Carin Koch played earlier today, shot 67. That's still the benchmark at this point. Allison Fouch, Barry Mackay also played earlier. Suzanne Pedersen finished up her round. That's her 3rd consecutive round in the 60s after that great finish at the Kraft Nabisco. Christy McPherson, a big break fame, in at 3 under par. Jill McGill playing well in that group at 3 under. There's Lorena at 2 under. Annika. Laura Davies in that group. Christy Kerr, Meg Mallon.
Ai Miyazato still looking for her first win, her big breakout.
Back to 17, Kari now for par.
A little bit surprised at the slow start Kari's had to the LPGA season after winning the Australian Open at the very beginning of this year. Thought she'd carry a little bit more momentum into this portion.
There you go, Gary.
Back out in the fairway, Christina Kim. Going to give this one a go in 2.
Bomb this down the fairway. She's actually on the upslope too. It'll be an advantage. 183 to the front, 217 back to the hole location. She can easily fly it onto the screen.
Oh no!
She hit that way left. Tried to hit it too hard.
Go!
Oh, she carried it though.
Oh, got away with it.
She did get away with it because that is not the line you want.
Another decent shot ruined by an early call.
Now back on the tee. Here's Lorena. This is where you would expect Lorena to take full advantage. Par 5 downwind.
Well, and averaging 279 off the tee.
Now, people often ask you, a player of such slight build, how does she hit it so far? And I think she's got the club in better position now. Her hands are fast.
Well, and she just maintains her angle so long, kind of Sergio-like in her downswing, not quite as flat, but she really builds some angle coming into the golf ball. Just waiting for the marshal there to clear the fairway.
You know, Val, I think it's an interesting point too. I mean, she's going for her 4th consecutive win. What does winning take out of you mentally? I mean, it's got to be tough to week in and week out be in the hunt.
Well, I got to tell a little story on her. I actually had dinner with her, or lunch with her yesterday, and I said, "What did you do after you got your win in Mexico? Did you go out with your friends and party?" And she said, "No, I just went and saw my sister. She just got married. We talked all about our honeymoon and went through the pictures." She said, "But I don't think I realized how tired I was. Yesterday she had a Pro-Am shotgun start at 7:30 and woke up at 7 o'clock, and she said she was more nervous trying to get to the golf course to make her tee time than she was to get in the Hall of Fame in the last round in Mexico."
I will tell you, she looked a little harried yesterday morning trying to find her group. Let's take a look at this swing where all that power is generated.
Well, just a beautiful address position. Great posture, fantastic extension. Look at her left arm. Now, what she has fought in past years is being long and across the line. It is still a little bit in that direction, but nothing the way it used to be. Holds her head back maybe just a little bit too long, But what she does better than anybody else is trust the golf swing that she has, and it repeats.
And now Paula Creamer.
And this is also a very repetitive golf swing. Maybe pulled that a slight bit, but solidly struck.
Just gets to that downslope where Lorena had one-hopped it to.
So Paula Creamer and Lorena Ochoa both in the fairway at the par 5. We'll come back and see how they do after this. She looked a little.
Whatever. Smart aleck.
Back at the 17th, Christina Kim reached into this her eagle opportunity.
Coming up and over this ridge, just have to get the speed right. This line looks good.
There still hasn't been an eagle here yet today.
That was just a moment ago. And now live, Natalie Gulbis.
That's got a little pace.
Wow. She had her Wheaties this morning. There's a look at the top of the leaderboard. Carin Koch. It's been 3 years since she's led after any round. Go to the 17th or the 16th. Stephanie Sparks for birdie.
It'll be her second birdie of the day. Pretty good effort. We'll have a little bit of a right to lefter coming back.
Stephanie would make that for par. Now at the 18th, here's Angela Stanford with her second from the rough.
Did Angela listen to Annika's tip? Aim a little left, it wants to go right.
She didn't.
She got the left part.
Left.
Yeah.
And now Kari also in the left-hand rough.
Getting slight help and nearly all across.
seeing slight help nearly all across. This ball is also going to come out fairly low on the downslope. Opportunity to chase it up, look at a front yardage, and scoot it back in there.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you don't need to go yard to go to the front. Trust it.
Another helpful point from this situation is to never try to overhit a shot where your balance is anything but perfect. Not that it's a great idea anyway, but just when your balance is not great, take a little more club, use a little tempo, move it forward, get good contact. Really well done there. Maintained her balance all the way through and really not full bore sort of speed.
Back to 17, Christina Kim for birdie. Christina now in red numbers. Earlier in the same group, Natalie Gulbis for her par. Ran her birdie effort well by. Got away with it. We'll be back with more from the Ginn Open in a moment. Okay.
This is for Annika 2, so 2, 3, 4.
Annika 2.
Okay.
Okay. Back at the 17th, the par 5, Lorena second.
Sky Caddy charted this drive at 300 yards, 174 to the front, 198 all the way back. She's hit that a little left.
She wanted to get a good look at it, but she's not going to like where it ended up.
Well, and got a bad kick, too.
Well, unfortunately, we will not be seeing the end of Lorena's round. We are reaching the end of our first round coverage of the Ginn Open. But to keep pace with what Lorena and the rest of the field is doing, you can log on to golfchannel.com to keep up with the scores. Carin Koch leads by 1. All the players on the first page done for the day. Joe McGill playing well, a chance to gain some ground late. Lorena Ochoa just playing her 8th hole of the day. A lot of golf left for Lorena. Angela Stanford there at 2 under par, making the turn. Heather Daly Donofrio off to a good start, 2 under through only 2 holes of her first round. Well, Carin Koch leads at 5 under par currently, and this is a situation that she hasn't found herself in recently.
No, we talked about this hasn't happened for her since the 2005 Evian Masters. It has been such a slump that Carin Koch, a player with an unbelievable record at the Solheim Cup, was left off the last team. I mean, she has played so poorly over the last couple of years, has fought it off the tees, she's fought it on the greens, that it has really been a struggle. Good to see her back after 66 to close last week at the Corona Championship, carried it right through, but I would doubt that it will be a very restful night for Carin Koch.
It'll be interesting to see how she handles the lead, but when she looks in the rearview mirror, she sees a lot of big-name players who have to be pretty pleased with where they stand.
Well, sure. Annika shoots 2 under today, a very, very solid round. Julie Inkster with 3 under, and Suzanne Pettersson with 4 under, getting into the meat of the season for her, where she typically picks up some momentum. Tomorrow's coverage should be fantastic with those players right there in the hunt.
And who knows where Lorena Ochoa might end up by the end of the day. She's 2 under already, playing a par 5. Lorena Ochoa might be very near the top of the leaderboard. Don't forget, second round coverage will come your way tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time at this prestigious event with a great field here at the Ginn Open. And a reminder, coming up next, PGA Tour Prime Time. If you missed our coverage earlier of the Verizon Heritage, here's your chance to get a repeat plus more on PGA Tour Prime Time. It was a gorgeous day here in Central Florida. Christy McPherson playing well. Morgan Pressel's struggles continue here. But there's a lot of golf left here at the Ginn Open. For Dottie Pepper, Val Skinner, and Beth Daniel, I'm Brian Hammonds. We'll see you again tomorrow for round 2 from the Ginn Open in Reunion, Florida.